So I started by gathering some references for the Thrumbo, because the issue with the base game model is that it's very simplistic. Lore, no description. I decided to make the Thrumbo a combination of a horse and a giraffe because I thought that would make the most sense. So I started by finding a reference image of the giraffe off of dimensions.com and vaguely traced the shape using a cube. I then extended more vertices to make a long neck, loop cutted the body, and stretched out the stomach. I then quickly roughed in the shape of the legs with more cubes following the diagram. Before turning the camera to look at the front. Yeah, no, that's not right. I quickly added a mirror modifier to the legs and started editing the form of the body and trying to make the silhouette of the body look more animal-like. Once the body shape was done, it was time to redo the legs. I added some cylinders to the scene and positioned them where the legs were meant to go, duplicating them as I go because I'm too lazy to add and resize more cylinders. Now that the shape's done, I added a sphere, cut it in half, and positioned it above the legs for the muscle forms. Deleting the faces off the cylinders and sphere, I bridge looped the edges, joined all the cylinders, and wha-bam, you got some easy legs. Adding a subdivision surface modifier to the body, I continued editing the profile and the shape of the legs, giving the neck some thickness and moving more towards the shape of the Thrumbo I wanted. For the head, I added yet another cube and roughly made it head-shaped while I worked on the rest of the body. And now is the part where it will look especially bad. I merged all the leg bits with the body and remeshed it all together into one big mess to start on the sculpting. I then realized that I don't want to study more horse anatomy, so I moved back to the head, which was arguably a worse choice. I replaced the placeholder head I had made with a new cube, and decided to follow the shape of an actual horse head. I loop cutted it, moved the points around, scaled the vertices, added another... you get the picture. Once I was happy with the base shape, I moved it up and scaled it to better fit the body, then added some spheres with a mirror modifier to represent the eyes. Once I had the basic proportions where I wanted them to be, I started sculpting, adding some nostrils, carving in a mouth, scraping the bridge of the nose, and now I have a dragon head. Yeah, no, that's not what I wanted. I'm sure it'll be fine later. Giving some love to the horn, I scraped the edges and smoothed it out before starting on the coat. Originally, I had wanted to make two separate objects, so I could slap on some procedural materials to represent the two tones of the original sprite and call it a day. But I quickly realized that if I don't merge and sculpt the coat onto the body, the Thrumbo would look very, very scuffed. But instead of dealing with that, I went back to the head to add the little fur tufts to the back of the head. I thought about making it more bone-shaped, thinking it would look cool along with the horn, but I didn't do that for some reason. I forgot to. But back to the coat. I continued playing with it, trying to make it look natural, and eventually decided that maybe some texturing would help. I applied the modifiers I was using and used an alpha brush of a stylized fur texture to apply some fluff to the coat. I then merged the head and coat and smoothed it out some more. I did the same thing to the legs and body, this time using a different fur alpha, before merging the head, the coat, and the body and smoothing the entire thing. I also scraped the hooves to make them more hoof-like, before pulling out a tail that I definitely didn't forget to add when making the body. I then retopologized everything using quad remesher and began the texture painting. I started lightly brushing a darker white on the top of the Thrumbo before applying a light blue tinted fur brush to the top coat. I then added a finer bluer fur brush to the bottom to keep a little bit of the contrast from the original sprite. I then added a quick rig using the Rigify add-on, editing the default horse bones to better fit the Thrumbo. I then painted a quick horse's eye, which if you've never seen a horse's eye before, looks very, very creepy. And with that, most of the Thrumbo was done. And now onto the scene. I added a quick plane before adding a rock, and slapping a rock texture for the Thrumbo to step on, adjusting the rig to better fit the pose, and then I added some grass sprites and textures to the plane. After quite a bit of finagling with the ground and grass, the final pose was done, and now time for the render.